question for Tommaso, just for the table in general, because we started saying, yeah, we're gonna talk about, because you said I'm a musician, but I'm also in the music industry sometimes. So how does that distinction? Where's the line, and like what do we mean when we say music industry versus musicians?
Well, I feel like there's been throughout my evolution within this, what you want to call a career, I've been trying to understand more about the industry so that I can do more music. And music, the act of playing music, and maybe that's in the studio, maybe that's on stage, maybe that's in different contexts where you do it, but basically it is the thing that you want to be doing with your time all the time. And I think that makes somebody a musician, right?
The craft and the art versus the
the
business.
desired, like to be developing the craft, but also just like the desire to be doing that with your time is what impulses you as a musician. And then the industry, is something that you have to deal with. Now, there are other people who are themselves only a part of the industry. And those people may have, and I would say the majority of those people have picked up a guitar or the drums, or they played in a band at some point. Maybe they're even musicians that transition from one side to the other. But for me in particular, I feel like I'm somewhere on that spectrum that is now like I'm straddling a border between two worlds where I have views on and consider the perspectives of what might be two opposing sides of certain issues within that intersection, music and industry. There might be musicians that want certain things or see certain things in certain ways and advocate for certain things to happen within their career or their lifestyle or whatever. And then there's people in the music industry that view things from a different perspective, even though they understand what it's like to want to play an instrument, right?
Right.
But they themselves are involved in, on a daily basis, the somehow the creating business around the music.
Right.
And I'm sure all of us are that to some degree or another, and all of us, are somewhere on that spectrum. But, the idea that I have is that those two sides should be in conversation with each other all the time, and we should like learn how to work them together,
I agree. I mean, because if we're gonna live within this environment and this, place that we live in, this community, and we definitely have to find a way to make it a living, so we can have then time and a secure space to devote to making the art, right? So it's kind of like,
I mean, dude, you both find that you have both skill sets like equally, because I feel like you can be an artist or you can be a business person, and there's like kind of a mix between the two, but you're more one than the other. Like no one's just like full on.
For myself, I'm definitely identify myself closer to the making of the art. It'd be, I mean, it's a big umbrella, but like, let's say make a record, which involves a lot of things. I'm usually closer to how can we make it sound as good as it can sound.
Yeah.
Then how can we sell it? I mean, I'm somewhat involved, but I'm definitely not as stronger in that side of things, myself at least.
Right. And then, but when you're also making a record, you're thinking about how can I live off of the work that I'm doing. And in that sense, you're trying to, you're trying to involve yourself in industry or whatever. And then for some reason, I imagine you are creative all the time. You want to be creative. You're not like thinking, well, how can I become rich off of this?
Yeah, for sure. But also I do think about how I can make a living, and I struggle. It's like just, I don't know, scraping my nails against a board, and it's very annoying. And
when you have to think about the money.
Yeah, but I wish I can have business skills.
Uh-huh.
It's just something I just struggle with.
What do you define as business skills?
Marketing yourself and selling whatever you're selling.
In this case, you're a songwriter that wants to have your music heard by people, and then potentially people attending shows. And
yeah, just making it a revenue stream for yourself in any way.
Have you been in any point in your life generating such a level of income off of your music and your creativity, just that?
Yeah.
Where that was the only thing you did?
Mainly filmmaking. I could make people pay me to make films for them.
But
So
what about music then?
Music has never
been that.
But I've always I've tried to reach for it.
Right.
And bring it into my life
right.
in different ways.
How close do you think you've come?
Not that close.
Yeah.
It isn't easy. Yeah,
No.
it's
Yeah.